Time ago, in the country now called Mexico, there lived an Indian named Juan Diego. That was not always his name. Before the white men came across the sea from Spain, Juan Diego's name was...
Wait, let me tell them my name. My name used to be He Who Speaks Like an Eagle, but that was quite a mouthful, don't you think?
As I was saying, Juan Diego lived simply in the village of Tolpetlac with his wife, and he planted corn.
I like corn.
And he paid his taxes to the great Aztec Empire. Some of the white men were called friars. They were Franciscan friars, brothers and priests, who spoke of the one true God and about his kindness and love he has for all of his children. The Mexican Aztec people had never heard about this God. They all thought that there were many gods and that they were supposed to sacrifice people to these gods in their Aztec temples. He who speaks like an eagle and his wife listened to the friars and believed what they said, that God was their loving Father.
Well, it made sense to me.
Both he who speaks like an eagle and his wife became Christians and were baptized into the Catholic Church and took the Christian names Juan Diego and Maria Lucia. They were faithful to their new religion and had much peace and happiness.
La 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 la. La, 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 la.
One winter, Maria Lucia became ill and she died.
I was heartbroken. But the friars told me not to be sad. They said that Maria Lucia was a good and faithful Catholic, and surely she would be safe in the kingdom of her new father.
That made Juan Diego very happy.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
Well, Juan continued to work hard just as he had done with his wife when she was alive. He went every Saturday to the Church of Santiago to pray at the Mass in honor of the Mother of God.
Saturday is Mary Day.
Yes, it is, Juan, but do you mind if I continue with the story?
Oh yeah, sorry. Hey kids, listen up. It gets really good.
As I was saying, Juan would go to Mass on Saturday morning, and he would stay for the great celebration of prayers and Mass on Sunday.
That's a lot of praying, let me tell you. Oops, sorry, go on.
Thank you. Well, one day on the 9th of December in the year 1531, something happened that would change Juan's life forever.
It certainly did.
It was just before dawn that Juan Diego put on his tilma and set out for Saturday services at the church. It was a fair distance from his village, but Juan Diego was used to it. He traveled on foot at a good pace, as had all his ancestors centuries before him.
I've been working out, aren't I, Bob?
Juan Diego neared the hill of Tepeyac. He heard what he thought was a bird song, but it was different. It sounded as though a choir of birds was singing the chant that the friars had taught him.
It reminded me of the beautiful music at the High Mass.
Looking up, Juan saw that the top of the hill was covered by a brilliant white cloud. He decided to have a closer look. As Juan Diego neared the cloud, it seemed to explode into a ray of light. Suddenly, the music stopped. Silence was all around. Then Juan heard a human voice, the sweet, gentle voice of a woman speaking in his own language.
Juan Diego, Juan Diego.
Juan ran to the very top of the hill. As he got there, the cloud parted, and he saw the most beautiful lady dressed in what looked like the robes of an Aztec princess. Juan Diego threw himself down on his knees. The lady looked as if she was standing in front of the sun, with light all around her. Everything gleamed and glistened like jewels and gold.
Juan Diego, smallest and most beloved of my sons. Where are you off to, Juanito?
Juan scrambled to his feet and answered the beautiful lady politely as he could, because he could tell he was talking with a royal person.
I'm on my way to church, dear lady, to pray at Mass in honor of the Mother of God.
My very dear son, I want you to know that I am the Mother of God, and I want you to listen carefully. I have a very important message to give to you. I wish to have a church built here where I can show my love to all your people, the Indians. You must go at once to the house of the Bishop of Mexico and tell him that I have sent you to make this request. Tell him that he must build a church here right away. Tell him all that you have seen and heard.
Juan Diego was in a daze, but he did as the lady wished. He walked to the bishop's house located in the town square. As Juan approached the center of town, he made his way to a huge wooden gate that surrounded the bishop's house. Juan banged on the heavy door.
I have important business with His Excellency the Bishop. Please open this door.
When no one answered, Juan waited under a tree. And he waited, and he waited. Again, Juan waited once more under the tree. And he waited, and he waited.
Who is it?
I am Juan Diego.
What do you want of the bishop?
I have important business with His Excellency the Bishop.
What kind of business? What kind of business would you have with the bishop?
I have an important message for the Bishop from the Mother of God.
What? Are you loco?
No, I'm not loco. The Mother of God appeared to me on my way over to the church. She wants me to give a message to the Bishop.
Yeah, right. You must be crazy. What kind of message? You can tell me. I'm the bishop. No, wait. I mean, I'm the pope. No, really. I'm the king of the universe. Surely you can tell the king of the world what it is you want.
Hey, I'm not crazy. The Mother of God did appear to me, and she wants me to tell the Bishop that she wants him to build her a church on Tepeyac Hill.
You know, Juan Diego, I'm sure His Excellency will want to hear this from your own lips. If I tell him, he might think I'm the crazy one. You will have to be patient. The bishop is a very busy man. I'll see if I can arrange an audience for him with you. I'm sure His Excellency could use it as well.
So once again, Juan Diego waited and waited.
Okay, Mr. Diego, the bishop will see you now.
Finally, late in the afternoon, Juan followed the friar to a bare room to see His Excellency the Bishop of Mexico.
My son, what is it you ask of us?
Only that you build a church for the Mother of God, who spoke to me on the hillside of Tepeyac this morning at dawn, and requested me to ask you for a small favor.
What? I mean, my son, I have many pressing matters of state that I must attend to first. If you return in a few days, come back and repeat all the details you have so carefully told us today, and we will think about it. But be patient with us.
I have failed.
It never occurred to Juan Diego that the lady's request would not be granted. After all, who could refuse the Mother of God? Juan felt terrible. He did as the lady told him, even though it took him all day long to finally see the bishop and give him Our Lady's message. He was tired and sad when he trudged back up the hill of Tepeyac.
Trudge, trudge, trudge.
The beautiful lady was waiting for him on the same spot.
Oh, beautiful lady, I have failed you. I'm sure that the bishop did not believe me, but he did tell me to return in a few days, and he did say that he would think seriously about it. I'm sorry for failing. Perhaps if you sent a child or a noble rather than sending me, a poor ignorant farmer.
My beloved son, I have many messengers I could send, but it is you I need and want for this purpose. I beg you to do it for my sake. Go home now to your village, but tomorrow go back to the bishop and tell him that I demand he build a church here in this very place.
Juan realized that he must do as Our Lady asked.
I will do it. Please wait for me here tomorrow at the setting of the sun, and I know I will bring you back good news from the bishop. I leave you now in peace, dear lady. God keep you.
The next morning, it was Sunday, the 10th of December. Juan Diego was up before daybreak. He reached the church of Santiago, and after Mass, instead of talking with his friends, he set off once more for the bishop's house. Again, he knocked. Again, he waited under the tree. Finally, the friar came to the door.
Who is it? It is I, Juan Diego. I need to see the bishop.
Why are you back so soon? The bishop told you to come back in a few days. Go away.
No, I must speak to the bishop.
Fine, whatever.
As soon as Juan entered the room, where the bishop was,
Why have you come back so soon? Didn't I tell you that I needed several days to think about this matter?
as the bishop continued to question Juan, he became impressed with Juan Diego's sincerity, and Juan thought that he had won the bishop over to the lady's wishes. But the bishop continued.
I'm sorry, my son. I cannot do as you wish. Go back to this lady and tell her to give me some sort of sign. A sign to make it clear that she is indeed the Mother of God. And it is truly her wish that a church be built.
Of course, your lordship. You have only to choose the sign you want, and I'm sure the lady will be happy to provide it for you.
Oh no, Juan. It is not my place to demand. I would be happy with any sort of sign the lady chooses to send me.
So Juan Diego hurried back to the lady to tell her what happened. He was filled with joy.
Yay, la-di-da. Oh, hello. Dear lady, the bishop wishes for you to give him a sign that you are the Mother of God, and then he will know that you should build a church. Isn't that great?
Thank you, my little one. Please return here tomorrow morning. I will be waiting for you. Then I will give the good bishop the sign.
Oh, thank you, dear mother. I'll see you tomorrow. Also, bye-bye. See you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.
Juan Diego hurried home, happy that soon the lady's wishes would be granted. When he entered the house, his beloved uncle was waiting for him. He was very sick, on the verge of death.
Uncle Berardino, what's wrong? You look awful.
Oh, Juan, I'm so sick, and I fear that I'm not going to be with you for long.
Oh, Uncle, I love you like a father. You're my only relative still alive. You cannot die. I will take care of you.
All night long, Juan stayed by his uncle's bedside. Indeed, his uncle was very sick. Juan tried to help Uncle Bernardino with ancient remedies that the wise old women of the village told him about. He stroked his uncle's sweating body with a feather and a fresh egg, which then he broke and buried in the earth.
Oh, gross.
Tea made out of herbs and eucalyptus leaves was forced down the old man's throat. Long scarves were wrapped around Uncle, and Juan pulled hard on them, trying to squeeze out the fever.
Hey, what are you trying to do? Squeeze me to death? Stop it.
It was clear to Juan Diego that none of these remedies would save his uncle. In the light before dawn, Juan Diego ran off toward the church of Santiago to fetch the priest so that his uncle could be given the last blessings of the church. Worrying about his uncle caused Juan Diego to completely forget about his meeting with the beautiful lady. It was only as he approached the hill of Tepeyac that he remembered.
Oh no, I forgot I was supposed to meet the lady. Well, I'll just get the priest first. Then I can keep my promise and go to the lady. Surely she would understand.
Juan took the path through a gully at the bottom of the hill. If the lady was waiting, she would not see him if he went this other route. Just as he came around a jagged section of the rock, he saw her.
Where are you going, my little son? Surely you're not trying to avoid me, are you?
Don't be angry, my lady. My uncle is near death, and I wanted to first get the priest to bless him before I came to see you.
Juan, do you believe that I would neglect someone I love so much, especially when you are doing so much for me? Do not be concerned for your uncle. He will not die of this illness. In fact, he is already cured.
Juan believed the lady with his whole heart, and he asked the lady for the sign that she had promised.
Dear lady, thank you for helping my uncle. Now, if you wouldn't mind, how about that sign that you said you would give for the bishop so that he will go to a church?
My dear son, climb up to the top of the hill where we first met and cut and gather the roses you will find there. Collect them together in your tilma and bring them here to me. I will tell you what you have to do and say.
Even though Juan knew that no roses grew on that hillside, especially in the winter, he ran to the top, and there he found the most beautiful garden he ever saw.
Whoa, this is the most beautiful garden I've ever seen.
Juan cut the blooms, the best blooms, and placed them in his tilma on that hillside. And he carried them back to where the lady was waiting. The lady took the roses, rearranged them, and placed them in Juan's tilma. Then tying it around his neck, she told him,
Juan, this is the sign that the bishop wants. Go quickly and do not stop along the way. Above all, do not show what you are carrying to anyone except the bishop. When he sees the sign, he will build the church that I have asked for.
Thank you, dear lady.
for the third time, Juan Diego set off to see the bishop. Only this time he didn't run, but he walked as swiftly as possible, being careful not to spill the miraculous roses. And for a third time, he knocked on the door of the bishop's house. The friar came to the door.
Who is it? It is I, Juan Diego. I'm back to see the bishop. I have the sign from the lady.
Really? Let me see. Let me see.
No, I must only show them to the bishop.
No, let me see. Let me see. I insist you show me what you have, or you can't see the bishop.
Juan suddenly forgot his promise to the lady and opened his tilma a tiny bit so that the friar could glimpse the roses. But each time the friar tried to grab the beautiful Castile roses, they seemed to disappear into the cloth of Juan's tilma. Frightened, the friar ran to get the bishop.
Your Excellency, you must come with me to see Juan Diego. He is here with the miracle you wanted. He brought you the miracle. I saw them, the roses. And not just any roses, but freshly cut roses of Castile. Now, in winter. They can't bloom in winter. And when I went to touch them, the rose, it was as if they were painted or woven into the material of Juan Diego's tilma. It was really quite bizarre and really cool at the same time. You have to see it for yourself, Bishop. You really do. Well, Juan, what do you have there in your tilma?
I brought you the sign that you asked for. See?
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Why aren't you examining the roses? Why are you looking at my tilma?
Not only did Our Lady give the bishop a sign of the miraculous roses of Castile, but God blessed us all, even to this day, with placing a beautiful image of Our Lady of Guadalupe on the cactus fiber tilma of Juan Diego. And because of this great miracle, over 1 million Aztec Indians were baptized into the family of God. And if you go to the church in Mexico, in Guadalupe, Mexico, you can still see this miraculous image of Our Lady, still vivid after 500 years on Juan Diego's tilma. It hangs in a beautiful frame over the altar for all to see, this great gift from our Lord and Our Lady. So it seems that Our Lady is mother of us all. Like she said to Juan Diego,
Am I not here, I who am your mother? Are you not under my shadow and protection? Am I not the source of your joy? Are you not in the hollow of my mantle and the crossing of my arms? Do you need anything more? Let nothing disturb you, my child, my children.
the end. So now you know why you have a picture of the Blessed Mother on your tilma. And if you guys can stand up. Oh, everybody sit back down. Don't come out. Okay, I'm playing Juan Diego. It's Eric Syke. Okay, and then playing the bishop, the friar, the sick uncle. Anybody else? And the actions for Our Lady.
Which is Mary.
Is Mary, is my own Logan Syke, and it was Eric Syke. And then playing the voice of the Blessed Mother is the lovely, Caitlin Syke, my daughter.